Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce week 3 to you. June the 18th through the 24th, we're going to be looking at we're going to be studying we're going to look at daily routine and personal care needs vocabulary, and we're also going to look at comparatives and superlatives. Okay, so these are the pages that you're going to want to study, 152 to 165 and 172 to 173. You're going to want to review all of chapter 4, and these are some other pages in the text that you'll want to review as well. What are you hoping to do at the end of this week? You should be able to describe your daily routine and habits, as well as be able to express your personal care needs. You should be able to use chapter 4 vocabulary and pronunciation rules to answer the following questions. We talked about this last week. This is we're still working on that oral presentation that we're going to be making in about a week. So you hopefully will have a written response. You'll be critiquing other people's written responses to these questions. You also have a test this week. So for this week's test, students should be able to identify and know how to use direct objects and direct object pronouns. You should be able to identify and use vocabulary to discuss where you like to go and what you like to do in your free time. You should also be able to invite others to participate in pastime activities. You should be able to identify and use demonstrative adjectives and pronouns. You should also be able to identify and distinguish between and use the verb saber and conocer to express to others what you know and don't know. You should also be able to compare objects and people, as well as be able to describe people and things using superlatives. You should also be able to use chapter 4 vocabulary to write a paragraph about your families, which you wrote the week before. This week we're actually going to be critiquing, okay? And you should also be able to relate basic information about Costa Rica's history, economy, geography, and people. All of this week's assignments address student learning outcomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so this is a lot of information, but let me walk you through each thing. First off, your assignments are due on the 21st. Just like every other week, you're going to want to start with your instructor videos. So if you open it up, we have videos that go over chapter 5's vocabulary, reflexive verbs, comparisons of equality and inequality, and superlatives. So after you've watched all of those videos, then you're going to want to come to your class participation forum. You're going to click on the thread, hit reply, and post any questions or concerns you have about the material covered in those videos, or any other questions or concerns you have about the material being covered in the class. Okay. When you're done, we have our oral dialogue preparation. So remember last week you were working on, you wrote your answers to these questions. This workshop is going to get moved to right here. You'll click on it, and when you open it up, you're not going to see your responses to those questions anymore. You're going to see a fellow classmate's responses. And so what you're going to do is use the rubric and the feedback feature to help your classmates make sure that what they're getting ready to say is what they should be saying. And someone else is going to do that for you. And I'm also going to go through everybody's scripts to make sure that they're good to go so that you can do the presentation the following week. For the writing assignment, last week you also you did the writing assignment. If you open it up, it tells you, you're writing about your family, you're giving the names and ages of at least 4 people in your family, their relationships to you, activities that they do, activities that you do together. So you already wrote that, and I'll move this workshop down here. It should be right here. You'll click on it and you'll see somebody else's essay. And so you again are going to use the rubric provided and the feedback box to give them feedback and make sure that they're writing as best as it could be. And someone else is going to do it for you as well as me. Okay. We also have test 2, which is on the second half of chapter 4. So let's look at that. You have 3 hours and 1 attempt, so don't open it until you're ready. Okay, so you're going to identificar el objeto directo. Listen carefully to each sentence and identify the direct object. Then choose the sentence that correctly replaces the direct object with a pronoun. So you'll listen.
Identificar el objeto directo. Listen carefully to each sentence and identify the direct object. Then choose the sentence that correctly replaces the direct object with a pronoun. 1.
Tengo la calculadora.
Okay, so you heard, whoops. Okay, so you heard tengo la calculadora. So if we're replacing our direct object, which of these makes most sense? La tengo, me tengo, las tengo, and you'll write that there, okay? So you'll listen for all of them, the whole listening, and then you'll do that for each one. Okay, here, sabes identificar el objeto directo. Your roommate needs to write a paper for her composition class and finds that her writing is very repetitive. Show her how to identify the direct objects in a sentence so she can replace them with pronouns. So all you're doing is you've got a sentence here and you're deciding which of the nouns is the direct object, and so you're given choices and you write it right here what the direct object would be. Okay, here, complete each of the following sentences with the correct direct object pronoun. So you're given a sentence which has the direct object. You're rewriting the sentence, replacing your direct object with the direct object pronoun. And remember that the direct object pronoun needs to match in gender and number with the direct object that it replaces. Here's vocabulary. A group of friends are discussing the activities they do in their free time. Complete each sentence with an appropriate word from the word bank. You just have to take the word and plug it into the sentence. You don't have to do anything else. Okay. Your classmate wrote some sentences in Spanish to practice the demonstrative adjectives. However, he can't remember the gender of his nouns. Help him by selecting the demonstrative adjective that correctly completes each question or statement. Okay. And so you'll pick the demonstrative. Sometimes it's going to be you're choosing because of location, but also remember that your demonstrative, since it's an adjective, it has to agree in number and gender with the noun that it's describing. So it should match the word that follows behind it. Or if it's a pronoun, it should match the noun that's mentioned in the sentence before it. Okay. And here, complete the sentence with the correct form of either saber or conocer. So you're going to choose between the two of them based on the rules for saber and conocer, and then you want to spell it correctly. You want to spell the one you pick correctly to match who it is that knows Honduras or who it is that knows how to speak German. Okay, and that's everything that you have to do for the test. Okay, you also have another cultural assignment. So if we open that up, we have one on Costa Rica. So there's video transcripts right here. Again, these are videos on Costa Rica. You're going to want to watch each one. You can click on the CC and turn on the closed captions so that when you play the video, so you'll hear the narrator speaking in Spanish, but see the closed captions in English. Okay. Okay. Again, you have one attempt. So you don't want to open this until you're ready. But then you'll go through, the videos are here again, so just select, there's a bunch of true, false questions, so just based on what you saw, decide whether the statements are true or false, and then there's some fill in the blank. And remember again, fill in the blank have to be manually, like I have to look at them. So some of you may get them all right, and some of you maybe I needed the number 5 and you wrote out 5. Well, obviously that's correct, but the computer's going to count it wrong because I wrote the number down for my answer. So just remember that I will look at these and your grades should start changing the Friday after you've completed the assignment. Okay. Okay, and you also have assignment 5. You're going to have to go out to my language labs. If you click this, it will take you out to my language labs. I'm going to go ahead and go out there. Okay, so if you click on the 21st on your calendar, these are the assignments that pop up. You want to complete each one that's out there. If you click on it, you'll click on the, you'll complete the assignment, then hit finish and submit for grading. If you don't get it right, remember you can do it as many times as you would like before the due date. But again, I warn you that if you're doing it more than 3 times, that you probably want to reach out to me. Okay, and that's everything that you have to do for week 3.